Thank you all for coming out, and I want to give a special thanks to our Boy Scout troop for coming to learn about their civic participation. So that's so wonderful to see young people here. First of all, I'd like to introduce myself. My name is Sarah Renner, and I'm the Education Impact County Coordinator. And I'd like to just introduce the group as well. Education Impact is a coalition that focuses on initiatives that can positively impact education. We believe that every child deserves the opportunity to reach their full potential and should be given options to do so. We provide information to the county through town halls, candidate questionnaires, and this year we have helped to coordinate 2 candidate forums. Education Impact does not endorse nor fund candidates. The first resource is the School Board Candidate Questionnaire, which is out on the table printed when you come in, and you can also find it online. The graphic behind you is what it looks like on the website when you go there, and this card gives a link to the website so you can get that information. And what it is an issues-based questionnaire that candidates can answer about important educational issues and up-and-coming changes in education. All candidates were contacted by phone and email, and those who responded had their answers printed by district. Additionally, the County Board of Education candidates are listed on each district page based on the geography that they service. The K-8 Board Buckeye is listed, and then next to it is EDCO Area 1. So that would be the geography for the county seat for the schools, county school board, that is in the Area 1, which services the Buckeye District. And there are some overlap a little bit with the geographies, but often you would have both of those on a ballot together. And that's true of Area 3 as well, which services a very large geographical area with less population, and is listed on multiple jurisdictions because they service that area. Secondly, we're also doing the candidate forums. We had one on October 7th, which was up in the Placerville area to help service people up there. And then this is the final one down here on the western side of the county. The event will be made available on video when it is finished as well. All candidates were invited by email based on the contact information they provided to the elections office. And we thank the candidates that are attending tonight to share information about their views. We also want to thank Foothills Church for generously opening their building to provide a service to the community. So thank you, Foothills Church. Okay, rules of the forum. Each candidate will have 2 minutes to introduce themselves. 5 questions will be asked, and each candidate will have 1 minute to answer. This is not a debate. So please focus your answers on your vision, problem solutions, and ideas for the districts. If a negative comment is made towards another candidate, they will be given an additional 30 seconds for rebuttal. Each candidate will have 1 minute for closing remarks. Which candidate will go first was chosen randomly, and we'll take turns switching who goes first for each question. There is a facilitator keeping track of time, and so they may give them the signal their time is up. And to the audience, you don't look too rowdy, but just in case, please no cheering or applause, and especially applause, even if it's like a really great job. It just slows it down, and we really want to hear from all the candidates. Thank you all for coming out. And this panel is made up of groups that are a little farther out from this geography. So we have Gold Trail, then Gold Oak out in Pleasant Valley, and then Pioneer, even a little farther out towards Mount Auckham.
Great, I'm Larry Thornhill, and I'm running for the Gold Trail School Board. I am a general building contractor with 55 years of experience business under my belt. Over the years, I've hired students out of high school, and I have an advantage over some of the younger, more inexperienced candidates up here. But I've hired kids for 35, 40 years. And I've seen a difference in the kids that I hired 35, 40 years ago than the kids that I see today. I'm appalled at how the educational system has changed. I'm even more appalled to see how the state is coming in and doing things that are inappropriate. I'm a father of 4, a grandfather of 7, and a great-grandfather of 4. And I shudder to think what I'm leaving for my children and the future generations to come. And I really sense and feel in my heart that I felt compelled to run. I've taught different classes. I've been an apprentice teacher teaching carpentry. And along with that, I've also taught a class on biblical citizenship in modern America through Patriot Academy, and definitely see how America needs what is offered through these agendas that are coming on. And it was through these programs that I got motivated to run for the school district. And I'm excited about running. I've met the principals, I've met the schools, I've gone through the various facilities. I've met some of the parents out in the activities that are taking place in the school to get acclimated, because I'm not a politician, I'm not experienced in the educational field, but I'm a builder, and I want to build the lives of the children that I'm dealing with in a very positive and progressive stance.
I'm going to stand for a moment so I can see those that are hiding behind the podium here. My name is Angelica Kimbrough, and I'm running for Gold Oak School Board. I got involved kind of at the last minute, right, as I heard what was going on in my local school district and the attacks against my current school board from some people with some pretty extreme and radical ideas. I'm a mom. I have 5 children, one of whom attends Pleasant Valley. And I've been passionate about education my entire life. From the time that I was a little girl, I loved going to school and I loved learning. And I hate to see the decline in our education that's occurring today, and I really want to get involved knowing how much our school boards have authority over choosing the curriculum, choosing and hiring and firing the superintendent, setting the policies, and how important it is to have people who have the values that I want to see in my schools carried out and put in place. I grew up in Pleasant Valley. I attended Gold Oak and Pleasant Valley. I love my community and I love our schools, and I want to help see them grow and strengthen and improve.
I'm Adam Harston. I'm also running for the Gold Oak School Board. I am an Eagle Scout, so I'm happy to see you guys all here, the Scouts. That's awesome. Learning a little bit about how you can get involved in your community. That's what I'm trying to do. I've got 4 kids. 2 of them in the Gold Oak district. I'll have kids in this district for the next, I think I calculated out 7 years. So I'm invested. I've got my oldest is 13, so I've been involved with schools, younger schools, for that long. On the other side, I'm a forensic accountant. I'm a CPA. I've worked with dozens and dozens of companies. I have a lot of experience when it comes to finances. And higher education. Mostly I've worked with colleges, but I've also worked with municipalities. Usually if I was there, it wasn't for a good reason, but I understand how schools work. But first and foremost, my kids are there. I see what their concerns are. I talk to the other parents, and that's the reason I'm running. We need to build some more trust with our school board, parents, and teachers.
Good evening. My name's April Stewart, and many folks from this church body know me from back in the day. Thank you for having us, Pastor Brian. And Sarah, thank you for putting this on. It's absolutely wonderful. A little bit about me really quick. I am a parent of 5 children and a grandparent of 9 so far. 7 boys and 2 baby girls. And I've lived in the community here since 1996 and have served the community as being a realtor here in the community, and also very involved in education and church activities for children like Awanas and what have you. So in raising my own children, I had them in public schools, I had them in homeschool and charter schools through the years, depending on the different school districts that I was in. And the first time I had ever homeschooled my kids was I was in the Burlingame School District, and I had 3 children that were going to attend 3 different schools that had 3 different school boards. And that's when I decided to homeschool, because it was too much at that time. And in that location, there was a witchcraft curriculum at the time that all the parents, Christian parents, were in an uproar about when I first moved there. And we thought Burlingame was the greatest. Okay, so I will just say I'm a caring conservative Christian running to make a difference and hopefully bring new ideas to the table of our school board. Thank you.
Thank you. So the first question's for Angelica. What do you see as the major issues facing your school district and the public education system?
One of the major issues facing my school specifically is academically, we are not performing very well. And I think that that's due to, I think that's due to a number of factors. We've had some issues with some teacher retention, curriculum issues, especially last year. My daughter didn't have a solid science curriculum, and that was a huge, huge struggle. So getting those issues addressed, academics, focusing back on the basics, focusing on academics and not on a political or social agenda, and really teaching those things instead of the social agenda that they're trying to push through coming from the state down. So
I think I've seen two major issues that I'm concerned about with our district. One, there's been a massive loss of trust in the school board for various reasons that I've been able to find out. And so there's no communication really between the teachers, the school board, and parents. And we have to rebuild that. And I'm friends with so many of the other parents. They're all on the same page that we need that transparency, we need that trust rebuilt. So I'm committed to do that. The other another big issue, like Angelica was saying, was our teacher retention. I mean, I think Pleasant Valley lost like half its teachers within the last 2 years. So some massive turnover, again, for a myriad of reasons that has happened. But we have a superintendent that needs to be hired soon that's going to influence our teachers. And we really need to focus on finding good, solid teachers that have similar opinions to those and viewpoints as parents.
Okay. Pioneer is unique. It's a very, very small community of less than 300 students. And there's been a lot going on up there. The first thing, of course, was COVID. And then from COVID was the Caldor wildfire. And then, as many of you know, there was an arrest last year about it this time. And that principal has been replaced, and there's still a lot of things going on in that school district. I do not have any facts that I can say, but I've heard from a lot of parents that their children are telling them that there are actual furries, 4 of them at this point, that have been reported by children. But I don't have it where you can actually fact check it. But the latest with that is they have asked if they can have cat litter boxes, which has been denied so far. And I don't know all the scoop, but there's a lot going on.
More broadly.
Great. Good question. When I decided to run, because I'm not experienced in the educational field, I'm a business owner of many years, I wanted to gain as much information as I could about the district that I was going to be serving. Being a general building contractor, I was interested in Gold Trail School, especially because it's an older school. So I met with both principals, and they gave me an hour and a half of their time, and they showed me through their schools. And Gold Trails is in desperate need of repairs. It's an old school. The music building, the roof is about to start leaking, and it's in disarray. They got a quote of $120,000 to do this new roof. Well, that's okay, but their budget at Gold Trails is $2 million a year, and the state this year just is allowing them $50,000 less. So they're expecting the school district to do the same amount they did last year with $2 million, now with $50,000 less, and now they're also having a $120,000 roof. Infrastructure is definitely part of what I would be concerned with.
Thank you. In 2021, AB 133 was enacted into law. Now schools may develop school-based health programs that provide mental health services, substance abuse treatment, contraception or abortion through on-site clinics or telehealth without parental knowledge or consent. Schools may provide the above minor consent services, but are not required to do so. What role do you think schools play in providing physical and mental health care, substance abuse treatment, or gender transition medical services to minor students through on-site services telehealth, and/or transporting students off campus?
So I think there's a lot of distraction that happens with a lot of policies, especially in California. It's just taking away from the focus on academics. They want to keep introducing so many things to address so many people's opinions or fantasies or whatever it might be. And they simply can't do it. They can't pull it off. I heard some of the other panelists talking about, the resources and the funding. It's not going to be there. The expertise, it's not going to be there. We can't use this as an experiment on our kids. There are institutions that can handle that kind of things, and ultimately it falls to us as the parents. We need to be in communication with our kids. We need to be the ones helping them. If they need extra help, and there are places and experts that have been tested over time that can do that. We don't need to put this new cog in our school system that is just going to cause it to bind up and fail.
This is not a new thing, even though it's now legislated. It's been on the books to try to get legislated for years and years, as the DSM went from one volume and back in 1980 something, and now it's at volume 5. It's 1,142 pages that they want to disseminate down all the way to the student level, the children's level. So it's a big deal, and AB 665 and AB 1955 go with AB 133, and they plan on doing it, and they're doing it right under our noses. All you have to do is look on your websites. All your school websites have a mental health button. You can go in and look and see what they're doing already. I know in Pioneer, they just adopted a $58,000 contract for the next 2 years for the mental health counselor they have there to help the students since COVID, because all of us are mentally ill since COVID. That's the newest, latest trend they all talk about at every meeting. So that's what's happening.
Well, if you want to give your kid an aspirin, you got to get a note from your parent. But if you want an abortion, you can go ahead and have that done without the parents knowing it. Doesn't make sense. The whole community is going like insane. It doesn't make any common sense is missing, and we got to bring common sense back into the structure. The family is the basic unit of our society. If the family is destroyed, our nation follows suit. We've got to develop strong families, and that means fathers have got to become stronger images. And it says in the scripture that fathers are priests of their home. And I really believe that a lot of families are missing the goal. I have a biblical worldview. I stand by that worldview, and I will vote on that worldview. I'll stand up for children and their rights, but at the same time, I believe that every parent should know what's going on with their children at all times.
Yeah, I very much agree with what the other panelists have said. I would add that there's so many issues with this. Basic care, give them an ice pack, give them a Band-Aid, that's great. But there's so many red flags, as was mentioned before. The parents really know best about their kids, and they need to be informed, and they need to know what's happening with them so that they can address the issues. Having a counselor at school, I think, can be very helpful. Anybody who works at a school is a mandatory reporter already, so that they can, if there's any issue or concern, they can bring that up and report that, and then let the proper avenues deal with that. But as far as letting the kids or giving the kids medical care, the kids don't know their medical history. They don't know their medical background. That's not a place for the schools to be involved in. If there's issues, that's the parents need to know, and that's the parents' decision to find what is the best avenue for their child and what needs to happen next with them, not the school's place.
Thank you. So April, this is for you starting out. Describe your experience in working with parents, community members, the business community, and how would that experience assist you as a board member?
Thank you. My experience is definitely from raising 5 children. And my business experience is I've been a realtor for 36 years. Prior to that, I was in property management and bookkeeping for many, many years. Now I'm a CFO of a startup here locally that is a 501c3. And I think all of the experience that I have helps me to look at an LCAP, help put those numbers together, look at attendance and many of the other issues that the school board has and address them accordingly.
Well, being in business for 50 years, I have a lot of experience. I've dealt with a lot of different people. I've negotiated a lot of contracts. I've dealt with very nice people, and I've dealt with very nasty people. But at the end result, I've always been able to have a good result from every job that I've done. I've been very involved with children activities, from Little League to tennis to all of the various aspects of youth sports and activities. I trained and taught in apprenticeship school for multiple years, teaching carpenters how to hone their skills so that they could get a trade. One thing that I do want to do in our school is I'd like to introduce a trade program for kids that are not going to be college-bound material, that do not want to go to college but do want to learn a trade. We're looking for plumbers and electricians and carpenters and HVAC people, and we need to give the kids that option and that opportunity. So I really think that my experience goes a long way to helping in developing the Gold Trail School District.
I'm a small business owner, so I work with an assortment of all different types of people, and one of the important things in my job is listening to my clients, listening to what their expectations are, what they want to see done, and making that happen and making that a reality. I also coach, so I'm working with kids and I'm working with their parents all the time. And I think that one of the things that I bring to the school board is being able to listen, to hear the parents. I want to see the parents involved. I want to see transparency between the schools, the teachers, the school boards, and the parents, and really see a collaborative effort in educating our children, because they are the next generation, and we need to make sure that we're educating and doing our jobs well. We have a huge responsibility, and we need to take that weight seriously and make sure that we can raise the bar. Children will raise to whatever bar and expectation that is set for them. So let's set high standards. Let's listen to the parents and what it is that they want and implement those things.
So I think one of the best things that I bring to the table with my experience is some of my forensic accounting experience. And the number one skill you really need in that field is to take complicated or convoluted information and break it down to its most simple level to be able to explain it to somebody, and so that in a way they'll understand. And so I don't think most parents really know how school funds are used all the time, whether they're what programs they're going for towards, and how much is going towards those programs. And so I can provide a little bit more transparency and education and answer questions of parents and even of teachers. As far as community experience, I mean, I've always been involved with my kids in school for the last 13 years. I love being involved, and as I've gone to school board meetings in this particular district, there's nobody there. So I know that not all the teachers or all the parents are involved, and it's going to be my goal and pleasure to get them involved with myself.
Schools throughout California are experiencing declining enrollment. What do you think are the underlying factors behind declining enrollment, and what could your school district do to improve those trends?
That's a great question. In building a business and bidding jobs, I had competitors. And I was awarded jobs based upon the fact that I was the lowest responsible bidder. And so therefore, being the lowest responsible bidder, I was awarded the job, and I was able to provide a livelihood for my people who worked for me. The problem in the school district is that there's no competition. And the public school system thinks they can get away with anything they want. And I just thought, as I was speaking with the principals of the school, how can we make the public school system more attractive to start drawing people back into the system? Because parents do not like what they're seeing out there, and that's why they're leaving. And so we've got to turn the public school system around and start implementing some positive influences to start bringing the children back. Whether the state is going to go along with that, don't know. We'll soon find out, though.
That's great, Larry. I don't think that there's a simple one thing that's causing parents to pull their kids out of our public school systems. We do have a lot of wonderful options, and I love that we have so many choices now for our kids, and parents are learning about those things and putting them in charter schools or homeschooling them, which is great. It causes there to be competition, which is a wonderful thing, because now we can look at and find out, why are parents pulling their kids and putting them elsewhere? I think that some of those issues come down to the schools not teaching the morals or values that the parents want and expect, not holding the standards of academic excellence that we want to see for our children. And so I think it's really important that we get back to those things, that we don't teach them amoral things, that we keep that out, let the parents handle that part of it. There's a certain amount that the school does and will teach, and that's important, but focusing on the basics.
So I know this firsthand because I'm part of that statistic. We pulled 2 of my kids out of the district, and they're in a different school, and they love their new school, which is unfortunate. And that's another reason I'm getting in the school board, is because I want to change that fact, so that parents don't have to go hunting so much to find a place where their kids can be comfortable. One of the big reasons was definitely just the environment, the bullying. I mean, there was like no discipline. There was no way to hold kids accountable, and I don't think their parents were involved enough, honestly. So there's a lot of factors going on there. It's not, from what I've experienced, especially our K through 5, we have some of the best teachers. We have amazing teachers, and I love them. And they're doing a great job. Our Pleasant Valley has had a tougher time as the kids get older. That's just tougher grades to deal with, right? And so it's going to come down to just everybody working together, which they haven't been. And I think that's going to be just really important.
It's a very tough question. I believe that declining enrollment in California has so much to do with the war on families that our legislatures, our Sacramento, voted in legislators due to this state, including the governor. So at a school board level, I don't know how much control that we will be able to actually have, since there's so many laws written against us. And I think that we can do the best that we can. We can bring a lot to the table because we are different and because we have God on our side. But as far as really changing the system, we have to vote out the others at the top because they're bringing the money down to the schools. So I don't think it's a very easy game. I think we're in a lot of trouble.
Thank you. So, Angelica, what are your best hopes for the future of your school district and your aspirations to help students?
I think that we have a wonderful school, wonderful teachers. I hope to improve teacher retention. I really hope to improve our academic performance. And I would really love to see kids gain a love for learning like I did when I was a child. I absolutely loved school, and I think that that's an important piece that's missing. And I'm not entirely certain why. It could be a number of things. but I want to make learning fun for the kids and make it an environment that's safe for them without the bullying and issues that we currently are seeing.
So I'm just hoping to see some stability. That's my main aspiration. I really want parents to be confident about the teachers that are there, about what's being taught, and not have to worry so much. There's so much distraction that happens where we kind of need to protect our schools and put a little bit of a bubble around them so that our kids can enjoy learning, enjoy getting into academics, and be inspired, and not be concerned with so many political motives and other things that are unimportant.
When I visited Pioneer Union School District yesterday, I had a tour, and I thought it was the sweetest community, the sweetest school district that I've seen. It's in the country, it's beautiful, beautiful campus, and very, very small and quaint. And I loved it. I loved meeting all the teachers. The students seemed very happy. And so it was a really great experience. I don't know if they were told I was coming, but anyway. So on all appearances of just visiting, it was a great experience. My aspirations are that I want to bring a new face to the board and new creative ideas. They have a lot of maintenance problems, a lot of attendance problems. Their test scores are low. They only have a third of successful students. And I'd like to help with all of those things at all possible. Thank you.
Aspirations for what we'd like to see. I think that the Gold Trail School District is a great school district. In my study and my research on this particular school district, it seems like the test scores are coming up, that the kids are retaining a lot. I love both principals. I think they're both really good people. I especially like Carrie Phillips, the superintendent, because her second grade class, they're under the table learning cursive writing, which was eliminated from the school in 2011, where cursive writing wasn't being taught anymore. And believe me, when I was having high school students fill out time cards and they were printing like third graders, I said, there's a problem here, real big problem here. And so my aspirations are to get the basics of education and excellence. Let's start challenging the kids to start doing better than what they can. Kids want to learn. Kids, the apprentices that I've taught, when you start teaching them how are you going to apply mathematics to your job, how are you going to do all of the other things that are there, they start to have a grasp for learning, and it's exciting to see that happen.
The reason I'm running and that I want people to vote for me is because I already have a connection with so many of the parents that are in the district. We've got to rebuild the trust with our board that in our particular district's been lost. And we just need to find a way to incentivize good teachers to get out to our district and then to keep them. We need to work and support our good teachers that we know and we love, give them the resources that they need so that we can incentivize and keep them there. High turnover never is attributed with great stability or a great school district. We've got to find and keep the good teachers and support them. And that's what I'm committed to do on the school board, and so that's why I'm asking for people to vote for me.
Okay. I am running as an outsider. I do not have children in the school, so I am a resident of the area. I've been a resident of the area there for about 4.5 years. And my priority for running is parental rights, is to do my best as a board member to support parents' voice, that they can come to me and tell me what's on their mind, and hopefully I can help challenge the board to listen. I believe that's the utmost important thing that we're going through here in our state right now. And we have AB 665 and AB 1955 that is alive and well in the schools. I believe that we should look at children differently, let them be innocent. And my slogan is, let children be children again, and stop government control of your children. Vote for April Stewart.
I attended a forum this last week put on by the school district from Sacramento, and it was a very slanted forum that was directed towards the incumbents, and I'm the only challenger on the outside. And as a Christian man, I began to see some things that really were quite apparent to me. There's a lot of ungodliness in our schools and in our society today. But the problem is not the ungodliness is so great. Ungodliness and unrighteousness, in my opinion, raise their ugly head all the time. The problem with what I see America dealing with is that righteousness, and I see the voice of the church is silent. And I believe that more people who have a firm foundation in their faith should be an influencer in our society. And that's what I want to be, and that's what I'm going to try to achieve. I'm going to be an influencer for good. At that forum, when they found out that I was a biblical citizenship teacher, one lady said, I don't want my kids to have anything to do with religion in school. And I said, it doesn't have anything to do with religion. It has a lot to do with love. And I love the children that I'm going to be dealing with, and how can I represent that in the process of educating your children?
I love my community and our schools, and my heart is to serve the parents, to serve the school, to serve the children, so that they can receive the best education that we can possibly give them. They really are our future, and I feel that we are really on the brink in our society at this point in time. There's so many attacks against the family, and that's really where education starts, at home, from the time that kids are babies. Having had 4 of my own and a bonus daughter that I have now, and raising them and seeing them grow, they have a desire to learn, as Larry mentioned, and I really want to see that. And I want to see our schools take advantage of that and use that and give them a passion for learning and for education. I want to build bridges between parents and our school and have transparency so that parents know exactly what's going on and to bring the change. And I'm a go-getter, and I'm going to be the person that's going to get that done and accomplished.
All right, thank you. A round of applause for our candidates. I'd like to thank again Foothills Church for hosting us, generously providing the venue for this candidate forum, and for each of you attending, and the Boy Scouts attending as well. And I also would really like to tell you that if this candidate forum was helpful for you, and the information that is out in the lobby and that some of you already have gotten, the issues-based candidate survey is helpful, please make sure you pass that along to your friends and family. For a long time, there's been very little information on school boards, and people were just kind of left relying on literally road signs to try to decide who to vote for. And I just think we can do so much better than a road sign, don't you? So please, there are cards out in the lobby. Take some with you to hand out to your neighbors. That's a great resource for the Boy Scouts if you'd like to have some civic engagement with your neighbors. It is nonpartisan, non-endorsing. It is so that people can have information about their school board candidates. And each different district that participated is shown there, along with the County Board of Education representative for that geography. It looks like this on the screen when you go there to educationImpact.us, and you'll click on the part that says Vote School Boards, and then up will pop the screen where you can find out about El Dorado County. And we also actually surveyed Riverside County as well. So we just thank you so much for coming, and we just really thank the candidates for being here.